The global credit crisis has made people sit up and think. For too long, credit was too easy to come by. Prices became inflated beyond what they should have been. Loans were given out too freely. The price of commodities and cost of food increased, but with no real rise in salaries. And so the list goes on. Well, perhaps with some risk management and more transparency, the world wouldn't be in the situation it finds itself in today. Well, to offer some analysis now, we have Richard Aitkendavies, who is president of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. He's on the line from the Palace Hotel, downtown Burj Dubai. Mr. Aitkendavies, thanks a lot for coming on the programme. Why weren't the world's finances better planned, and do you think this credit crisis could have been avoided as such?
Our conclusion is, yes, they could have been avoided. The problems have arisen really as the result of some irresponsible behaviour on the part of senior people in our banking institutions. And our view is that they could have been avoided by better corporate governance in these organisations.
What financial instruments, so to speak, can be used to manage exposure to risk, do you think?
Well, those financial instruments which are already in the market but which have bombed as a result of being over-issued and many of them have been far too high risk, can do the job, but they do need to be properly regulated. And the issuing banks need to be more sensitive to the risks that they're taking and to not overuse the financial instruments and derivatives that are already in the market.
And what way is corporate governance and transparency the way forward for business?
I think it's absolutely essential. ACCA has done studies of the causes of the credit crisis, and we've concluded that the principal problem lies in poor corporate governance. So corporate governance and transparency of information, we think, are essential to prevent these sort of circumstances arising again.
In what way can companies prepare themselves and do preventative risk management?
Well, you would probably expect me to say this, Greg, but I think it's by having professional accountants in key positions, because professional accountants bring expertise to a company in controlling risks, in reporting, in identifying all the information necessary to make key decisions about where the company goes. And so I think the future of risk management, future of corporate governance in companies requires good, competent professional accountants in key positions. And we believe that there's scope for more recognition of the profession of accountancy in business, particularly in the Middle East. And of course, one of the reasons I'm here as president of ACCA is to encourage the growth of our membership, to ensure that the people are available for businesses who require this level of expertise in order to ensure that their businesses are run efficiently and effectively, and that the risks that we've talked about are properly managed in the future.
How does risk management differ around the world, and how is the UAE doing?
Well, risk management obviously has become a fairly topical area for attention by the world's companies as a result of the experience of the credit crisis. And much attention has been given to this. A lot of research is going on into where things went wrong and what caused the banking crisis. And I think as a result of that, we'll see much tighter risk management. And one of the things that needs to be done is that risk managers need to be given more leverage in their organisations. Because you see, most of the banks did have risk management departments, but our research suggests at ACCA that the risk managers were not given enough power and influence in their organisations. So we believe that has to change, and we believe it is changing.
And what about the UAE specifically?
I'm not an expert in the UAE, this is my first visit, but I'm picking up some very encouraging noises that transparency is very high on the agenda, particularly of the DIFC, and we believe things are, in fact, getting better, not just in the United Arab Emirates, but across the world.
Should shareholders in companies have more of a say, perhaps, on the level of group risk management?
Well, we believe this to be the case. We actually think that shareholders, and particularly institutional shareholders, have not had enough influence in the companies in which they have significant shareholdings, and that they should be much more involved in remuneration policy, in agreeing strategy, and ensuring those companies are managing risk in an appropriate way. So we think that shareholders have a part of the responsibility for avoiding a future credit crunch and ensuring that their companies do not take unacceptable risks.
Do you think companies are taking risk management seriously enough?
Well, I think the evidence suggests that they did not take it seriously enough in the past and took unacceptable risks. But the position now, I think, is that these large companies, particularly financial institutions, as a result of what they've seen happen, are taking risk management much, much more seriously.
Do you think this region, Dubai, the UAE in general, will come out of the downturn faster than other places?
I think they will. I mean, I've been mightily impressed by what I've seen in Dubai and other parts. I've just been to Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi, and my very strong impression is that there is a vision in all these countries about the future, and I think the governments and the businesses in these countries will work hard to ensure that the challenges of the recession are faced up to, and that these countries are pulled out as quickly as possible. So I see a great future for this region.
Okay, well, Richard Aitkendavies, once again, many thanks for your time today. Thanks for coming on the programme.
Thank you, Greg. Nice to speak to you this evening.
Well, that's it for this edition of Inside Business. You can contact us by writing to ib@city7tv.com. But for now, from all of us on the team, goodbye, and we'll see you again soon.